Let's dive right into today's explainer, because we're looking at a truly captivating 1950s historical mystery that will completely transform how you run your next sales promotion. Seriously, if you can grasp the simple underlying psychology we're about to unpack today, you could potentially see a massive multiplier in your conversions.
Now, to really understand the mechanics behind those massive conversions, we kind of have to start by challenging a super common and, frankly, a really dangerous myth. The basic assumption is that just lowering your price automatically equals more sales, right? Well, as it turns out, human psychology is wildly counterintuitive. Sometimes an unjustified massive discount can absolutely destroy your business. Yet, making your customers actually work for a reward can send those exact same sales right through the roof.
So, Part 1. The mystery of the Renault sales paradox and their massive 1950 existential crisis.
Picture this. It's right after the post-WW2 global slump, and one of the French automaker Renault's primary markets, the United States, just completely stalls out. I mean, people simply stopped buying cars. And this wasn't just, a slow quarter. It was an absolute existential crisis for the company. Renault was left with tons of sitting inventory and a desperate, terrifying need for quick cash liquidity just to keep the lights on. They absolutely had to liquidate that inventory as fast as humanly possible.
Which brings us to Part 2. The failure of the unjustified discount and Renault's desperate price cut.
In an absolute panic, Renault made the exact same move almost any business owner would make when they need cash fast. They slashed their prices. They offered a massive 20% discount across all of their products, essentially wiping out their entire profit margin just to get cash in the door. They were practically giving these cars away. Yet, shockingly, they still couldn't find a single buyer. And this right here brilliantly illustrates exactly why unjustified discounts fail. An arbitrary price drop with zero explanation subtly signals pure desperation to the consumer. It basically screams, hey, this product is worthless and nobody wants it. By dropping prices without providing a logical reason, they entirely devalued their own product. The lots remained completely full because buyers just naturally assumed something was fundamentally wrong with the cars.
All right, Part 3. Victory with the scratch trick. This is a total psychological masterstroke.
Realizing that basic economics just wasn't going to save them from this fatal mistake, Renault's top executives huddled up. They needed a way to completely flip the script on consumer behavior, and what they did next was sheer audacity. They launched this huge advertising blitz claiming that some cars on their production line had sustained nearly invisible, microscopic scratches, and they boldly proclaimed that anyone who could come down to the showroom, spot one, and point it out would be rewarded with a massive discount coupon.
Now, a $500 discount coupon, that was a colossal, literally life-changing sum of money 70 years ago. But remember, the reality is that cars back then, and honestly, even brand new cars today, often have tiny, imperceptible imperfections anyway. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't a manufacturing flaw at all. It was a genius reframing of a known reality.
Just think about this crucial contrast for a second. On one side, you have this unearned 20% off discount that just signaled desperation and failure. But on the other side, you have a massive $500 prize that reframed a tiny imperfection as an incredible opportunity to win. It's brilliant.
Suddenly, people who had absolutely no intention of buying a car are just rushing the showrooms. They weren't there to shop, they were there for the thrill of the hunt. This triggered a ridiculously powerful sense of ownership. By spending their precious time and physical energy to commute to the showroom and hunt down this tiny scratch, they completely bypassed their own natural sales resistance. Because they had worked for it, walking away without buying the car suddenly felt like walking away from a prize they had rightfully earned.
Moving into Part 4, the psychology behind the consumer and the 3 core rules you absolutely need to know.
These 3 takeaways are basically the absolute foundation of successful promotions. Step 1 is the effort principle. We simply value things way more when they're harder to get. Step 2 is the focal point. Just the sheer volume of people hearing your company's name during a buying frenzy drives overall sales way up. And Step 3 is the absolute most important rule of the whole shebang. And that crucial point is the power of because. You must always, always justify a price drop. Whether it's a tiny invisible scratch or something else entirely, providing a logical reason frames the discount as a highly valuable, rare opportunity to seize, rather than a desperate plea for cash. This is the ultimate benefit of providing a logical reason for a discount. It protects the perceived value of your product while still letting your customer feel like an absolute genius for getting a deal.
Which leads us perfectly into Part 5, providing a logical reason today and how we can use actionable modern strategies.
Now, obviously, we aren't selling cars in the 1950s, so how do you actually apply this without, faking scratches on your own products? The solution is surprisingly simple. Use calendar events and holidays as your modern-day scratch. Tying your sale to localized events like Nowruz, Ramadan, Eid al-Adha, or Black Friday provides that logical justification, your because. It completely allows your customers to accept the discount gracefully, completely protecting your brand value while still giving them that amazing winning feeling.
But beyond just protecting your brand's perceived value, there is this massive secondary superpower to this event-based approach. Strict impending deadlines create undeniable urgency. The customer knows the holiday is going to end, they know the discount is going to vanish forever. This forces them to just stop overthinking, put their doubts aside, and finalize their purchase right then and there before it's too late.
So, that brings us to our final question for you to really ponder today. What is the scratch in your next sales campaign? Instead of just giving away arbitrary discounts that accidentally signal desperation and devalue all your hard work, find your because. Create a compelling, totally logical reason that makes your customers feel like they've truly won a prize, and just watch your sales multiply.